Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 US destroyer, Fletcher. It has 5 main guns, 10 torpedoes, 22 AA guns, a surface detection of 6.4 kilometers top speed, 36.5 knots, total hull 17,100. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main battery, propulsion, faster torpedo aim, faster rudder shift, and concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on torpedoes, superintendent, and last stand. We are on the map Land of Fire, and I've shown this map from a battleship's point of view. All the big guns spawn on the west side of the map. They toe-to-toe fight it out for A. The little tiny ships, the destroyers, the light cruisers, the in-betweens are going to go after C. It's a much smaller capture point. It has a lot more islands. It's a denser area of the map. Much easier to accidentally run into something. Now, there are islands, much like there are islands at A. However, these islands do not block line of sight. All they're useful for is blocking torpedoes, basically, which is a nice thing, I would say. It really discourages you from blindly assaulting the point with torpedoes. The point is so small, you could theoretically, with like a shimikaze, get a full spread that covers the entire capture. So it's nice that they have that in. It was required. We see an enemy cruiser. He's headed almost broadside. We send out 2 narrow spreads that are concentrated on the indicator, and we accidentally leave the capture point at sea. I didn't want to have a situation where I run into an enemy destroyer. I don't want to move too close too fast, okay? Interestingly, B is being captured, and we do not see the ship that is attempting to capture that base. Most likely, it is either a destroyer or it's a concealment-focused cruiser. I'm going to just assume it's a destroyer until shown otherwise. It's very rare to see a concealment build. Everyone's still trying to level up and experience the game in a vanilla style. Our torpedoes, he's angled. Oh, are we going to hit any? We do hit one. We take off 17,000 points of his health, and we cause a flood, which he's going to use damage control for. But teammates can easily follow up with HE and possibly set him on fire for a full burn, 45 seconds, with the survivability perk, and it's something around a minute without. We're going to go towards B. We know it's a destroyer. We know what we need to do. Do what must be done, and that is kill the enemy. I feel very confident in a US destroyer's ability to take out an enemy destroyer. The rate of fire, especially since this is the patch version of Fletcher, the rate of fire is extremely high compared to the original version. We don't see any enemies so far. I don't believe there has actually been a spot on any enemy destroyers this entire game. If there was, it was for half a second, right? So we gotta be very cautious. Have no idea what I'm getting into. I do have backup in the form of a friendly destroyer, and I much appreciate that. It's always better to go somewhere with a teammate. And an enemy cruiser appears to be headed for the gap in between A and B, the 2 big slugfests, and here we go, the Benson. It's a Tier 8 US destroyer, and we get first contact. We're able to set him on fire, incapacitate, I believe, his main engine. He has to use damage control. It's just too vitally important to keep that stuff up. And he has smoke going. He's trying to hide. We try a blind fire, unsuccessful. He appears, but he disappears just as fast as he showed up. But we do get that blind fire. That's pretty cool. We didn't have the accuracy bonus. He sent out torpedoes. Not really a big deal. We fire on the Pensacola. Why not? We're already spotted. We choose to pop our smoke, and we're going to come to a complete stop. This is the sitting in smoke strategy. You require a teammate to spot for you, but you could do some pretty insane damage. We set the target on fire. Every salvo is doing at least 1,000 points of damage, if not more. He's coming towards us. Remember, the Pensacola doesn't have torpedoes. There is no threat to you from this particular ship if he gets closer, other than he has more accuracy on his guns. Usually most players it's easier, but this is like shooting fish in a barrel. He is not moving. I don't want to use torpedoes. I want to kind of keep those in reserve. As long as I'm in the smoke, I can do free damage to this guy. And he's not within 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers, remember, is the range where you get auto-detected. Much like World of Tanks and being on the other side of a building, they can basically hear you at that point and they can understand the exact direction. Now that Benson never showed up. Until now, he was backing up. He was trying to escape in reverse. So we try and do a fire. We do successfully land a little bit before he disappears again. And we got some weird glitchy bug where you can kind of see a location on the map firing for no reason. Oh gosh, big damage. Are we going to be the ones to finish off the Benson though? We're able to land one shot before he disappears, and there's no way I could know exactly where he's going. He gets away with barely any life, and those are the ones that are really annoying. Oh, is he going to get away? We just aim fire, try and see if we can land anything in his general direction. He's turning. We land one more. Is it enough? No. The Admiral Hipper is coming into view, and we gotta be careful with this guy. We're gonna send out a concentrated torpedo strike. Unfortunately, we don't have smoke, so we're kinda out here in the open against a massive cruiser that could do tons of damage to us. We're trying our best to get any angling that assists us in the ability to avoid damage. He puts 3 fires on our target. The Benson shows back up. Who cares? If I can get a stray shot, it's worth my life. And I felt like the torpedoes were going to be successful because the Hipper was locked in on killing me, and I locked in on killing him. And I needed that. I was very close to dying. I think this particular example is something I've been trying to look at. You don't really get a lot of scenarios, I'm going to say. I've played a ton of games, and this scenario in particular might come up maybe 100 times. Maybe 200 times in all the games I've ever played, but using the player's greed or aggression against them, and use it against me. Anyone who plays against me, you know how I play. You've seen every game, or nearly every game. I'm too aggressive, so I might do exactly what the Hipper does. I'm going to ignore the threat of potential torpedoes and continue to try and kill the low health target, and it led to his downfall. And that's one aspect of the game that I really want to focus on. I love talking to you all and describing my thought process. Hopefully you can take advantage of that, but I am overly aggressive. I do show mostly super successful games. There are games where I get in nearly the same scenario where I'm engaging a target and I'm not fully committed to avoiding damage. I'm getting a little bit better, but it's one of those things where you feel like just a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more is going to lead to your death. Now, I was trying to hunt down this Benson. There is a player who recognizes me. Hello, Sal, if you're watching this. And the Benson barely got away. Just before we killed the Hipper, we took a shot at the Benson. We only need like 1 or 2 rounds to make contact. Yep, he's over here on the western flank trying to hide from me. I feel like he knows I want him. And the enemy Fubuki's over here. I see the Iowa, and he's in a predicament, to say the least. Friendlies are going to get a nice broadside. No reason to fire. He is very much dead at some point. You just can't afford to be that low and stuck showing your side against friendly battleships. And yeah, they kill him off. Now we know there's 2 enemy destroyers here and these 2 enemy ships that are visible. That's it. That's the entire enemy team. And they're all within 3 squares of my ship. I have to be careful. Can't show myself or I'll probably die. Who's going to show themselves first, the Fubuki or the Benson? I really want the Benson. That's why I'm here. I do have smoke. I wouldn't be this aggressive without smoke. I'm getting as close as I can. And I'm going to send out my torpedoes on this enemy cruiser. I believe there might be a destroyer behind that large island right in front of me, but I don't know it. And if you don't know it, You better be careful not to get too close. You don't want to throw your life. Yep, Alright. So the enemy Fubuki was the one who dropped the smoke. Now, I'm kind of getting in the way of the Mayhan. I'm sorry, player. But he is firing. I believe he fired. And, yep, he's firing. So they see him. They don't see me. So I need to move away very quickly. They're closing in. 6.5. Yep, he got within range to detect me. And now what I have to do is I'm going to just see if they choose to fire. Okay, they don't fire. And we're able to drop off. That's all you need to do. Don't give up. Don't fire on them. Then when you fire, you're spotted for the rest of the game and they're going to kill you. Or the rest of your life, which is, granted, not that much. So it is the rest of the game for you. Our torpedoes are unsuccessful on the Ibuki. He kind of saw our plan and was able to avoid it. That turbines is pretty low, though. We could fire on his position, and that's what I'm going to do. Smoke's out. I'm going to stay in the smoke. I'm going to fire on the superstructure. And I'm going to try and help my team kill this guy. We set a fire, which is awesome. Friendly follows up with torpedoes. Enemy Ibuki, easy transition. If the target that you've set is dead, make sure you got a strategy to benefit from smoke, which is still being deployed. So we can sit here for 30 seconds at least. And he's kind of coming towards us. He's definitely annoyed by us. Definitely annoyed by us. Of course, there's a lot of targets firing on his position, so he's most likely very annoyed by all of that. We do have our torpedoes back up, and we're going to send him out towards the direction he's headed. He is very close. This is going to be very hard for him to maneuver. He would have to basically react right now, and he's not reacting at all. So how much damage are we going to get on this guy? He passes by half of our torpedoes. Is he going to pass by the other half of our torpedoes? Wow, only one. That Ibuki is fast. Wow. We do cause flooding. He has to use damage control on it. He's using his heal right now. You can see his health going up. And my smoke is about to dissipate. He's about to see me. We still don't know where the Benson is. He's still alive, and I don't like it. That guy should have been dead a long time ago. He's probably going to live the entire game. Oh, big shot from someone. And they follow up and finish off the Ibuki. Now, it's going to tick over any second now, and that Benson, he survived the entire game. He was barely alive. Barely alive. But we got one kill. Devastating strike. Good XP. This was a solid game. I believe the base XP is going to show that I have a lot. Oh yeah, I got a lot. 24, 26, and most of that I think is just playing the objective correctly. Over 100,000 points of damage feels good. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.